to you live from the Vegas Video Network studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip. It's golf and other four-letter words. And now your host, you've heard him on ESPN, Fox Sports, and Sirius XM Radio, Mr. Dennis Silvers.
Hey! Wow! It sounds like we bust in some of the Occupy Vegas Video Network protesters. Hey, that's nice. Hey, welcome everybody. We've got a very, very special show for you. We've got a lot of stuff for you in the next 30, 40 quick minutes, so I want to get right to it. We've got a very, very special guy. Really needs no introduction, but in case you have just moved to Earth from the planet Venus or something, I'm going to tell you all about this guy, but right now let's give it up for a great, great comedy. He's multi-talented, Mr. Bill Engvall.
Thank you. Hey, wow. They're out of their mind.
Well, they drink too. They drink too. Let me take care of a little housekeeping right now. A lot of ways to get a hold of us here on the show. As you know, we've got email, which is simply golf@vegasvideonetwork.com. We've got a toll-free line for you, 1-866-966-4599. We've also got live chat. Just go on to our homepage, vegasvideonetwork.com, hit that little live chat icon, and you'll be in the live chat room. So send us questions for me, for Bill, send us money, send us whatever you want to do. You can get in a live chat, and we're seen all over town. You know that. We're big on iTunes. We're also on YouTube a whole lot. We've got Roku television going. And don't forget Friday night features on AM 1400. KSHP every Friday night from 8 to 12. They re-air all of the great shows right here on Vegas Video Network. So if you're coming from one of Bill's concerts or something, just flip on AM 1400 and you're going to get a re-air of all of the shows. Also, let me get this out of the way. As you know, one of our strategic partners here on the show, Golfer's Guide, biggest golf publication in the United States. It's done regionally. They talk about great, great golf courses in particular areas. They've got articles on instruction, on golf merchandisers. You can see they're very kind. They stream our show on their homepage. So all you got to do is go to lasvegas.golfersguide.com. So when you see it at your Muni, your resort course, your private club, whatever, pick up a copy. It's very, very good reading. All right, let me, as I mentioned, let me tell you a little bit about Bill Engvall. Multi-talented. The guy does concerts. He does television. He does movies. He does television specials. He does albums. He's an author, for crying out loud. Well, let me ask you, dude, when do you have time to play golf?
As much as I can. I try to play. I'd like to play. My goal is to play 4 times a week. If I can get out once a week, I'm very happy. But it's... I'm getting to this age now that the work is really getting in the way of my play.
Yeah.
And
how that goes.
And even though, as my wife says, well, golf's not going to pay the bills, I go, no, but I'll be much easier to live with.
I like that. You have a platinum album called Here's Your Sign.
Right.
And you did that with one of my favorite country western artist, Travis Tritt. How did that come
great.
about? He's a great guy.
Great guy. I will tell you a funny story about that. So, to kind of backstep a little bit, when I got that record deal, I was just a club comic with a record deal. Well, Foxworthy I'd watched him just shoot through the roof. Mm-hmm. And so I signed with Foxworthy's management, and they said, we're going to record this album. I thought, all right, here we go. Recorded the album. We did it in Detroit, Michigan. Did it in one show. And they got this great album together. Got it all packaged, shipped it out. Release date comes, and I was like, here we are. Sold 100 copies the first week. And I'm looking and go, this is wrong. Something's got to be wrong. It's Foxworthy did all this. And well, what happened was we didn't have the Here's Your Sign song on there.
Okay.
Well, then the record label said, we need to put the song. I said, yeah. So they said, who do you want to get? Well, I initially had asked Joe Diffie, an old country guy, who has just got a voice like nobody's.
Love Joe.
And he went to his record label people and said, hey, Engvall wants me to do this song here. They go, no, we don't want you doing a novelty song. You know, your career's on fire. You don't want to do this. Well, the record guy at Warner Bros. Said, hey, Travis Tritt would like to do it. I said, great, I love Travis. So Travis and I did it. The song went to #1 and stayed there for 10 weeks in a row. And every time I see Joe Diffie, he goes, every time I see that record label guy, I go, yeah, good call on the novelty song.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, if you've got to get a hold of, and I'm sure Bill's going to tell you later how to get a hold of all of his stuff, but Here's a Sign is very, very, very funny. And, you know, I've taken to that. I've tried that. I'll walk into a bar and I'll go, hi, I'm Dennis Silvers. I'm a talk show host. You know, what's your sign? And usually I get, that kind of thing. Yeah, you know. So
but for those who don't know, the Here's Your Sign is basically a smart aleck response to a stupid question.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for example, one of the first ones I ever wrote was I was driving to see my dad and had a flat tire and pulled into one of these little side of the road gas stations, and the attendant walks out and looks at my car and looks at me and says, "Tire go flat?" And I said, "No, I was driving around. The other three just swelled up on me." So that's a Here's Your Sign moment.
Bill did a great show. Speaking about Here's Your Sign, Bill did a great show on TBS called What Else? The Bill Engvall Show. I mean, they must have stayed up all night thinking of that one. Yeah. But he got a little bit of Here's Your Sign because unfortunately I don't know what they do. Here's the sign. It got canceled.
Yeah,
why did that happen?
Well, apparently they wanted to go. The TBS wanted to become the Tyler Perry Network. Because they've every show he does, and God bless Tyler, he's a great guy. He's a prolific writer and stuff. And we got 3 years out of it, which was great. One of my biggest claims to fame is the girl who played my daughter, Jennifer Lawrence, went on to do Winter's Bone and was up for an Oscar, and now she's doing all. You know, she's done the bunch of movies, so she's on her way. And so that's Fox always talked about on his show. He had Haley Joel Osment. And so we always say, it's sad when you're doing an interview and they go, who's the best actor on the show? And you go, the 13-year-old. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, but it was fun. It was a good family, clean family.
Oh, it was a great show.
Yeah, and I loved it.
It was a great show. I enjoyed it a lot. All right, let's get into our first segment. And for our regular viewers, they know what it is. But for all of you new viewers, we call this little segment right here called Tournament Scorecard. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Golf and Other Four-Letter Words right here on the Vegas Video Network. He's Bill. I'm Dennis. Tournament Scorecard right now, the only real tournament, Bill, happening in the world professional golf is over in Europe. It's the big Race to Dubai World Championship, which is kind of their version of the FedEx Cup that we have here in the United States, except they play it for a hell of a lot more money. They got some pretty good entrants in the tournament that you probably are familiar with, and I just want to shout out some names to you and real quickly give me your thoughts on these players. Rory McIlroy from Northern Ireland.
Big Rory fan.
Yeah, are you?
I got to be honest with you. I love this whole new generation of golfers coming up. Bubba Watson and Rory and these young, they're what I call them, they're kids in my book, but I like Rory's attitude. I mean, here's a kid who blew the Masters.
Yeah.
And then came right back.
All right.
And that's what they say, the best golfers have amnesia. I mean, you look at somebody like I think it was, what was it? Was it Scott Hoke that missed this putt for the win and never really recovered from that?
That's true.
But I think this new generation of golfers is going to be amazing.
They're ready. He's a good.
I love Rory.
Lot of talent. How about El Nino, Sergio Garcia from Spain?
Sergio.
Real well in
I
this
love
tournament.
Sergio just because Sergio to me is kind of like Jeff Gordon. Everybody just loves to hate him. And I don't know why. Remember it was first the too many waggles.
Yeah.
But this kid, I mean, he can play some golf, and it's
he
like
can.
and I love the fact that he doesn't seem to what people say doesn't bother him at all. He's almost like Sergio's got this attitude like, I know what you're saying, but we both know you'd like to be me.
Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly right. How about GMAC, Graham McDowell from Northern Ireland, also won our U.S. Open?
I like GMAC a lot. I love his game. Very intense competitor. and makes the ball do things that I don't think are physically possible. But yeah, I mean, here's another one. It's like the American golfers got their work cut out for them. I'm telling you right now.
They do. Guy I love, Big Easy, Ernie Els, who's from South Africa.
How do you not love him? I mean, this guy's swing is just like syrup.
Yeah.
If I could, actually, Ernie and I have a lot of attributes that are the same. Both our last names start with an E.
Okay.
And that's where it ends.
And that's where it ends. All right. Great guy. He was out last month at TPC Summerlin here for an event.
How tall is he? Is he 6'8", 6'6"?
No, he's Ernie. I think is about.
He looks.
He's about 6'3".
I guess the rest of the golfers are short.
He's a big guy.
God, he looks
but
huge.
he was out here for an event at TPC raising money for his autism thing, and I met his wife and spent some time with him. And Butch Harmon and I did a little thing with it. Great guy, and just absolutely love him. Finally, let's end up with the #1 player in the world who's competing to make this week in Dubai to make some history to see if he could lock up the money title on the European Tour as well as he did here in the United States for the official PGA Money Tour. How about Luke Donald from England? Talk about a walking ATM.
We were all hoping that things break for Luke. He's having a rough go. I mean, what do you say? You can't say anything. You just watch his game. It seems like there's no flaw in that game at all, and it's a little irritating.
Yeah, good guy.
But great guy. Yeah, really nice. I met. They were down at the Children's Miracle Network tournament I played in, and actually met him and was just a really nice guy.
Yeah,
really straightforward and just kind of.
Wonderful golf game. Yeah. Wonderful golf game, like you say. Just a fantastic
Who's your pick for next year's the 12 FedEx Cup? If you had to pick right now.
That's tough.
Yeah,
I'd have to think about that. That's a good question.
All right. Yeah, because I was thinking about that. Because there's a bunch of them that are grouped up at the top.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be somebody that's going to come from the pack.
I would not disagree with you.
Whether it's whether it's I'd love to see an American. This is me with golf. I'm such an old school guy. Remember when Tom Watson was leading the British Open the last couple of years? It would just you just felt this whole surge of people going, "Come on, you can do this."
No, that would have been the story of the decade.
Are you kidding me?
There is no doubt about it.
That'd have been like when the United States beat the Russians for the hockey thing. Yeah, in the Olympics. That would have been that big.
Yeah.
Well.
All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to step away, take a short break. When Bill and I come back, we're going to get into our second segment. A lot of fun with this one, as you know. We call that Birdies and Bogeys, so stay with us. We're right back with you right after this.
Traditional media believes that after about 3 minutes, you'll tune out. Most Vegas media companies think if it doesn't jiggle, you won't tune in. At the Vegas Video Network, we think both are wrong. The Vegas Video Network is the first and only live online broadcast network that specializes in insider news and expert views about Vegas. We combine great storytelling with the ability to watch when and where you want on your computer, mobile device, or television. Discover the real Las Vegas. Visit VegasVideoNetwork.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're back with more madness from funny man Bill Engvall, who's appearing over at Treasure Island. Get a chance to go see his show, absolutely do it. You'll come out hurting. Your sides will be hurting from laughing so much. He does absolutely a great show. Before we get on to Birdies and Bogeys, we've got Scott, somebody in the chat room.
Yeah, Dave wants to know, has Bill had a chance to play with any of the current pro players?
As a matter of fact, I have. I was invited to play as we were talking earlier, in the Children's Miracle Network Pro-Am. And I played with Derek Lamley and Michael Bradley and Woody Austin and Michael Allen. That was the one I was thinking. And it was an amazing experience. The thing I learned the most about playing with these guys is it's just a game. And I am guilty of this too. We take this game so seriously that you stop enjoying what you went out there to do. And as when you're walking and take the time to look around because you're on this beautiful tract of land.
Yeah.
And as my wife always says, when I hit a bad shot and one of my 4-letter words comes out, she goes, just remember that no food is being taken out of our mouths because you hit that bad shot.
Oh, that should.
and it's true because these guys, it could be. I mean, it's the difference between making a cut, not making a cut, one shot.
Oh, absolutely. Good point.
But I had, this is going to be a great segue to tell my little quick story. The greatest golf moment of my life was at this Pro-Am. Michael Bradley and I's ball ended up about 30 yards off the green. Of course, he's there in 2, I'm there in 3. And he chips up to about 6 inches and kind of with a little smart alecky smirk, he goes, hey, don't show me up, because the Golf Channel was following us around. I chipped up, bounced once on the green, rolls in the cup, and I got a golf clap. And my golf was made. I literally, this is how unprofessional I was. I literally was on the green. I looked at my wife who was on the other side of the room. I go, I got a golf clap. Now, if I'd have gotten that kind of clap after my show, I'd have been like, well, I sucked.
Well, that's great.
But only golf. This is like, I got a golf clap.
Very polite. That's, very distinct golf clap. All right, birdies and bogeys, I'm going to give you some smack, some gossip, some rumors, innuendo and stuff, and I want you to tell me if you think it's a birdie or bogey or a double bogey or whatever you want. You talk about this is cronyism, Bill, personified. Guy by the name of Randall Stevenson, who just happens to be the CEO of AT&T, just got appointed to the PGA Tour Policy Board. Okay, it's made up of 9 members, and 4 of them are kind of non-golfers, if you will, and kind of independent thinkers, quote unquote. Do you think this had anything to do, Bill, with the fact that AT&T sponsors the Pebble Beach event and also the AT&T National? I mean, that kind of
I'm going to give that. I'm going to give that a double bogey.
Okay.
Just because I don't feel like it. To me, it'd be like me getting to sit on the MLB board. I mean, why would you put somebody on that's going to make golf policy decisions who doesn't play golf? And if it's strictly for the Geetus, then I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
I think Beeman and all that, there's enough people out there. I would say, if you want to put a policy, golf policy, then put real golfers on that thing. Yeah. Make it the players police themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously the guys, he has maybe a conflict of interest since they sponsor a couple of events. They give a lot of money to the PGA Tour, so he's going to kind of vote for things that maybe help benefit. You know what I mean? So anyway, all I know is I'm paying a hell of a lot of money for my phones. Okay, so do something with that.
I don't see my bills going down.
All right, President Cup International members Robert Allenby, Jeff Ogilvy, both Aussies, almost came to blows a little while ago. Robert Allenby lost a playoff to another Aussie, Greg Chalmers, at the Australian PGA Championship. Now, you got to remember that Robert Allenby wasn't in the best mood. The guy went 0 for 4 in the President's Cup. He absolutely sucked. I think Greg Norman is regretting that decision. He lost a playoff the following week to Greg Chalmers. He was not in a good mood because he claims that during the the Australian PGA Championship, Jeff Ogilvy kind of almost hit him 3 or 4 times when he was in the woods or anything, and apparently they met in the locker room, and there was something said, and it kind of escalated, and they came this close to actually getting in a physical altercation, all really instigated by Robert Allenby. So
I'm going to give that a huge birdie, because I love the fact
so
that
you like violence.
Well, especially amongst these guys, because let's face it, most of these guys have grown up silver spoon.
Yeah.
They're living in the country club. They've been playing. They've had the. You know what? Welcome to the real world, my friend.
Okay. I agree.
I've been hit. You've been hit.
I agree.
You know what? It's a game. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Now they're making it's their living. I get that. It's work to them. But it's like, come on.
Yeah.
And you've seen these guys hit.
Yeah.
For a pro to almost hit another, I doubt seriously it was that close, because these guys can put the ball wherever they want.
Oh, I agree.
So it wasn't.
I agree with you, because these guys are over a putt. They could hear something a half a mile down the road, and they go whoa, whoa, and they back off. So I doubt whether it was that close too. I love when you say they're in there. You hear this camera go,
click, and they go, what? I go, hey, come to my club when I'm about to tee off and my friend's driving down the road. He goes, dirtbag! There's pressure there, buddy. Camera clicking, shut up.
All right, EA Sports, who's a big video game manufacturer, has been making the Tiger Woods video, as you probably know or don't know, for the last 12 years. Well, Tiger Woods number 13 is going to come out, I think, March of next year, and they said it's going to feature playable golfers in this edition. Well, I found out for you, Bill, who the playable golfers are. Okay, number 1, Marshall Faulk, Jeremy Roenick, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Dwight Howard. So they've got all the sports covered, boxing, football, basketball, whatever. All these guys are retired, and Tiger's really not too happy about it. I don't know. Would you buy a Tiger Woods number 13 edition to see Sugar Ray play golf?
No.
Come on.
That's a snowman there.
Yeah.
In fact, I have on my iPad, I have the last version of Tiger Woods golf game. Because I was like, it's Tiger Woods golf game. It's awful. Because, if you get ahead in the game, like I literally, at one point, at one tournament, in 4 days, I was 40 under. Well, it's not real. I mean, it's not. And in EA Sports, if you're watching, here would be my suggestion. Quit worrying about the sports guys.
Right.
Make the game where, like, what I would like to see in this game is, like, if I go ahead, then also maybe somebody starts coming up close, and like you can't have a playoff. There's,
right.
It's like, so there's too many things wrong with the game. If you really want to do a great golf game, my favorite is when I'm in the sand trap, my golfer walks through the dirt. I mean, he's got dirt up to here. It's like they don't have it down yet.
Yeah.
I would worry about. I would say make it more playable for me.
Yeah.
To make it a fun tournament. Like where I got to beat somebody or
right.
know.
I agree with you. I agree.
Don't worry about doing.
I was thinking about buying it, but I think the problem is on a Tiger Woods guy, you don't really see that much of Tiger Woods. I think he spends most of his time in a motel room on this game or something. So, all right, lots of ruckus with this. With this. We talked about Luke Donald, number 1 player in the world right now. He was quoted as saying a couple of days ago that he believes 22-year-old Rory McIlroy has more talent than Tiger Woods. He's not quite dominating the game yet, Rory. But on the other hand, Bill, Tiger even said when he was asked about it, he agreed. He said, yeah, you know what? At 22, Rory has more talent than I did at 22. So I don't think it's a bogey.
No, I think that's I'd give that a birdie to a par. And I think that's very magnanimous of Tiger to, But I think you're right. And I think the only thing missing from Rory right now is just experience. Yeah. It's tournament experience.
I agree.
Major. I think once he gets it, look out.
Floodgates are going to open.
Because barring any freak injury, this kid can just flat out crush
tremendous
the ball.
talent. Yeah. He's going to be a big name in the world of golf for a long time. All right, we're going to step away, take a real quick station ID, and Bill and I come back. We're going to do something special here. We normally do handicap helper, but obviously Bill's not a teaching professional, so you know what? We're going to ask him some questions, get into his head a little bit. Stay with us. We're going to be right back right after this quick station ID.
Oh, hello there. My name is Brandon Gooch Hahn, host of Awkward Silence 2.1. And when I'm not living vicariously through Chris Phillips, I'm on VegasVideoNetwork.com.
All right, well, that's my buddy Gooch. What a great guy he is. Welcome back, everybody. Golf and other 4-letter words. Comedian Bill Engvall. Dennis Silver's right here. I know Ron White loves golf, Bill. I don't know. I think Foxworthy has attempted to play a little bit. I don't know about Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry is actually starting to play. Larry, this is what you want to talk about rednecks with money. Larry lives in Lincoln, Nebraska, and has built this barn that's bigger than the White House, I think. And it's got this $100,000 golf simulator. I mean,
really?
This thing, I think, measures actually how long his gas will stay in the air as well as his ball. And if you played golf with Larry, you know this is true. But Larry's at this point in his golf game. We were playing one day, and we were playing in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was having a really good round. I was I think on the front nine, I was at 37. And Larry we'd play, and like I would birdie something, I go, that's a birdie. And he goes, yeah, I parred it. And I'm like, you hit 7 balls. 7 different balls. He goes, yeah, but those were just mulligans. I go, how many? What do you got, a clan of mulligans? No. He forgets there's that one in the woods.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But it's so funny to watch him because we got to play Oakmont in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Nice.
And so they said, we're going to let you, we were playing in Pittsburgh, and they said, all right, you guys can play Oakmont, which for me was just like to walk in that locker room and see, I'm talking to the locker room guy, and he goes, yeah, this is where, Arnold Palmer sat here and talked to me. The old cleat marks are still in there. Well, I called my manager, who's also Larry's manager, and I said, you got to tell him he can't play in cut-off sleeves and shorts, cargo shorts. We're playing Oakmont. He goes, yeah, I've already talked to him. So he shows up. He's got on sweatpants and a golf shirt. And I go, Dennis, it's like he literally woke up to take a pee and found himself at Oakmont. It was amazing.
Oh, that is awesome. Scott, somebody in live chat.
Yeah, Nate wants to know, when Bill is playing with the pros, does he ever get nervous, intimidated?
Oh, my God, yeah. I'm going to tell you something, and I didn't get into this. I have never had parts of my body pucker so hard. When we walked up on the first tee, and they go, now on the tee, comedian Bill Engvall. And, of course, there's people around the tee box. Yeah. And my only thought was, dear God, just don't shank this. And I stood over the ball, and I felt good, and I had my instructor was my caddy. This kid who's great, Zach Vinyl. He's going to be on the tour. He's really good. And I got all set in, and all of a sudden the starter guy goes, hang on a second, don't hit. And I went, what? And he goes, on the first tee I hear, now hitting Tom Lehman. It's like, yeah, let's let Tom hit first. Right? Yeah, I was really nervous the first day.
Yeah.
But then you realize these cats are just guys.
Sure they are.
And I had 2 days of great golf. Michael Bradley was just amazing, and Lane. They were just really cool. And I think the thing that people need to realize when they're playing golf with a pro, and you know this, is you pick your moments to talk to them.
Sure you do.
If they've just if they hit us, this is what I love. Michael Bradley was like 250 out. He crushes this iron, and it's like 12 feet from the hole. And the words I'm about to go, holy God, what? And I heard him go, damn it. And I was like, all right, I'll wait. And I thought, really? I go, damn it. I'd have been doing the pee-pee dance for a shot like that. But that's their game is so much.
Their game.
But yeah, it's, and they're great. But just, I think when people get in trouble is when they don't take, like when we're standing on the putting green, that was another surreal experience. I'm putting on the practice green. There's Davis Love III. There's David Duvall. And you look around and you're going, it's like that old Sesame Street song. I kept waiting for somebody to go, one of these things just doesn't belong here.
That's great. That is great. Bill, why do you think so many entertainers like yourself like to play golf? And secondly, what brought you into the game?
That's a great question. I honestly believe, and I never thought I'd say this, but golf, I think, at least for me, and I'm sure if you ask like Garth Brooks and these guys who play, it's a release. It's our chance to get away from everything and just play it. Now, I got into golf when we lived in Winslow, Arizona, which, as you know, is a huge golf mecca. Yeah. The Winslow Country Club, literally, the fairways look like the Strip. I mean, just hard-packed dirt. And so I learned to play out there, and I taught myself to be, that was when we were kids, there was no golf clinics. There was no golf camps. Yeah. So you just grabbed your dad's clubs, and he had these old, I remember he had a driver, a 3-wood that I used to hit. But it was a ladies' club. It was, give me some old lady golfers.
Old lady golfers.
She had clubs named after. I almost said it.
I think you're thinking of Nancy.
Older than Nancy Lopez. Anyway,
Louise Suggs.
It was something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, so I had this. So I was playing, and Dad had this ladies 3-wood. Well, I could hit it because it was light, and I could. And so I had this club with me forever. And I was playing I was doing a club date, and I pulled out this thing, and I got Gary to hit, and the guy goes, "That's a ladies thing." And I go, "Yeah." And I crushed this ball, and his buddy goes, "Maybe you should start hitting the ladies club."
Yeah, see, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm curious about this, and I've asked other comedians about this. Does being a comedian, you know, a funny person by nature, such as yourself, does that help you in some way playing golf, as far as the perspective you have?
Oh, yeah. I think it does in the sense of, I've often said, you give me 4 holes with somebody I don't know, and I can pretty much tell you their personality. Because golf will bring out the best and the worst in you.
Yeah.
True. And for me, I think being a comedian helps me kind of keep it lighter in a sense of that this isn't life or death. Yeah. This is golf. And so when I have a bad shot or something, you know, it's a chance, you know, we'll usually joke about it. Or like my buddy has one of my favorite lines ever. He said, I said, "How was your golf game?" And he said, "My golf score looked like I was a really good bowler." Because there were just X's on holes.
I like that. Scott, somebody in live chat.
Julie wants to know, does Bill use his golf game to develop his comedy material?
Oh, good question. Yeah, you know, we will, especially with some of the guys I play. One of the guys I play with is a comedian, and we'll bounce ideas off each other. And, you know, if I didn't love golf so much, it would be a bigger part of my act. But I used to do a bit about golf that I said I always get stuck with that guy who thinks he's a teacher. You know, you hit a ball and he goes, "You know what you're doing wrong?"
Yeah.
"I can tell you what you're doing wrong." Saying, "You know what you're doing wrong?" After about 8 holes, he goes, "You know what you're doing wrong?" I go, "Playing golf with you." And it's true, because that was one of the best tips I was ever given. Was that do not take unsolicited advice. Right. Because especially if you're playing in a game, that advice may not be to your best advantage.
Exactly.
It's like the old guy, you know, like we used to do with our guy. "Man, you know why you're hitting so far? You got that great little hitch right at the top of your swing." And then they start thinking about it.
It's all head games, and, and you know that. That's very important. If you had, Bill, your wish of a favorite, putting together a favorite all-time foursome, and I don't want to put you pressure, and I want you put you on the spot.
No, I've actually
because
thought
I know you'd be choosing me, but forget me for this question. What 3 other guys would you select to play with, and where would you like to play golf with them?
The 3 that I would play with would be Peter Jacobsen.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'll explain.
He's a funny guy.
Lee Trevino.
Okay.
And it's a new guy, redneck. In fact, he got in trouble for spitting on the greens.
He's a entertainer?
No, he's a PGA golfer. Not Bubba Watson, but it's he's just an old country.
I know who you mean.
3/4 swing and just crushes them.
Boo Weekley.
Boo Weekley.
All right, there you go.
So if I could have those 3, and I'll tell you why I picked those 3, because they're all hysterical.
Yeah.
Peter Jacobsen.
Especially Boo.
Boo is just, I'd have him there just to have to round out the.
He's funny without even knowing he's funny.
And Peter Jacobsen is just hysterical. And same with Lee Trevino.
Yeah.
So that would be my foursome. And if I could play, my dream course to play would probably be like St. Andrews.
Nice. Okay.
Just because I want to go where golf started.
that is great. I want to ask you one last question because we're getting a little bit short on time, and I want to talk about
the
your
good ones
appearance.
always go too quick.
You still live in Southern California with your lovely family.
Yep.
Lots of good golf there.
My wife plays golf. We're both members of the Southern California Golf Association, and she is unfortunately having she had got really bad tennis elbow, and she's having to rest it, which just kills her that I go out and play. And but yeah, I get out and play and take your kids to play, because it's that's the one thing I regret, that I didn't get my son to play golf early on.
Yeah. All right, and I want to mention Bill's appearing over at Treasure Island again. And he's here several times a year. You get a chance to go see him. Do yourself a favor. He's absolutely great. Thank you, my man, for coming. I will do it again.
It's been a treat.
Oh, thank you very much. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Golf and Other Four-Letter Words on the Vegas Video Network. Thanks for hanging in, everybody. Fairways and greens. We'll see you all back next week. So long.